15 hours on the validity of that text to the historical evolution of our country. We argued all night, and at one time, Pan Gubne just gave up, and we submitted to Pan Mola's wisdom, and he was not a backing down type, and so you needed a lot of convincing to do, because he thought submitting to our own wisdom will have implications from a legal standpoint in our arguments going forward. And so I remember him. We had a lot of fights, Mola and myself, and he was one person also who fought for the people of Bakweri. He took up a case for the rights of the Bakwerians to the land where CDC is hosted, and he took up that case right up to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. So today I am speaking to our people of Fako. That's where I went to the university in Boya. I also grew up in Victoria, and so I know Fako very well. I consider myself a second denizen of Fako. All the stretches from Victoria to Sokolo, down to Ngeme, Mukundange, Idina, and right over there, going down into Manawo Bay, all the villages of the Bakweri people. I have visited those places, and the Ayaba family also has a foundation of the Bakwerians. Where we live was offered by the prominent Bakwerians. And I said to you once, you people hear of J.K.'s grandfather was the one from whom we got where we lived in Victoria. And so sometimes when you listen to them slam me, attack me every day, they will never tell you the other side of the story, that we are actually related somehow. But I'm glad. I always tell you the world is a small place, and I'm excited every time we relate. We have differences, like Egg of Seas have not allowed me to sleep in the past few days because I said I'm having conversation with Mr. Chris Arnold, and everybody's like, this guy is becoming a traitor, or this guy is becoming an enabler, or what. Being a leader requires that you actually lead, and sometimes you lead through difficult path. Sometimes you have to listen and tap into the mindset of those you lead to make sure that the path you are taking is the path they are going to walk through. I'm always very grateful that my leadership is inspired by your collective thought processes, the advice I receive from the wonderful advisors I have, and following due process in every decision making sure that there is precedence in the practices that we adopt, and making sure that I always do the right thing for the Ambazonian people. That is the kind of leadership you require in the 21st century. What has failed Africa and what has failed Amazonia is leadership. And I promise myself I'm going to give you the best quality of leadership that you will reminisce for the rest of your life. No blinking type, one guided by intellectualism, one also guided by grassroots support. That is what we need to recreate the kind of country that we want. We are here to talk about the liberation tax. Let me look at what the comment section. Yes, mother, leader must be flexible. I agree with you. I always receive your beatings and your advice and care, and I'm very grateful for all that you offer my leadership and the wisdom you bring and the sacrifices that your family also makes. I see my head of mission to online. Your place over there. All una place day. Shake your drum. I will be addressing Bui in the coming days, and my names will change. Yes, I will be called Ayaba Wo Bui. Ayaba Wo Bui. Okay. We're talking about the liberation tax. And in the next 12 days, we'll be talking about the liberation tax. This is how important that is. Today, I was having a conversation with General Efang and making it absolutely clear that first thing about taxation law is information, making sure that the people get the information. But the primary basis of every law is that it is properly discussed before it is adopted, and we follow that process. And I am happy that we tick all the dots, we cross the T's. We are at war, my people. We are fighting against one of the most merciless enemies, armed robbers, bandits, yes, hijackers. They came into our land and they thought they are taking it over until we rose. We rose. Yes, we rose. It's our land. It's our land. We seek nothing else than our land, just to have a place where we can live even in poverty. So this is not a joke. I was talking to a friend the other day. I was telling him he has to pay his tax. He said he does not subscribe to my ideology for independence, and I have not responded to him, but I will respond to him to remind him that, well, it's the law of the land, and so whether you agree with my ideology or not, it's the law of the land, and every Ambazonian citizen, both at home and in the diaspora, will have to respect this law. My promise is accountability, and my promise is to terminate the war with victory for Ambazonia. And you should have to trust me, because we have established the Ambazonian Governing Council as a people's movement, a grassroots movement that we hold ourselves accountable. We are all leaders, and we intend to ensure that we build a society that is based on the collective will of the people. So I enjoin everyone who has not paid their tax to pay their tax. My deputy press secretary, Ofa, have you paid your tax? And if you have paid your tax, send me your receipt. If you have not paid your tax, I'm a tax defaulter hunter. We need to raise hundreds of millions to arm our men and to make sure that we can provide some public services to our people. The tragedy of our story is one that had been written. We are not the foundation of that story. We have been warned about these armed robbers from Cameroon, daylight bandits who have I have never seen a people afraid to celebrate their own day of independence. I have never ever. It's like you don't want to celebrate your birthday, you are always celebrating the birthday of your neighbor. That's the kind of armed robbers that we have been dealing with for the past 62 years. Yes, and they've made a no-blinking generation, the Ayaba generation. We are not joking. It's going to be a bitter fight to the end, and we take no prisoners. We create no peace and reconciliation commission. We hold them accountable, and all those who have enabled them. I was reading a letter from another armed robber in Batibo. He calls himself the Dio. He says he's banning Ambazonian schools. You can't ban what you didn't create, right? You can't. You can't. He should remember the last person who sat in that chair, who was the Dio. What happened to him? We took him from inside his house. And we don't joke. We don't joke. And I also want the fun of Mancon. And what for? Oh, log on for. Logong for. So today is for Fako. I greet all my people from Fako, including who's ringing me at this time? LG Capo. A moment, I'll take this call. Yeah, LG. I'm live. You didn't see my link. I'm live. I'm addressing Fako. Where is he? Where is he? Where is Rewan? Where is Rewan? Bring him on the phone. All right, I'm back. My apologies. I had to deal with some issues on the ground. They are very important issues. My apologies. I hope the communication will cut this absence. I don't know where we were. I don't know where we were, but we are talking about the liberation tax, and my hope is that our people understand what is a war of liberation, and avoid having excuses all the time. When you are a dad or you are a mom, you go through difficulties. And even during those period of difficulties, you try as much as possible to be a good dad or a good mom. Because that's what you'll be remembered for. Your kids may never remember you, the holidays you took them to, but they will remember you for being a good dad and being a good mom, and just taking your responsibilities and do your utmost best. And that's what is required for us as Ambazonians in this time of war. The people who are manning the centuries, who are fighting, they don't have time to think about the quarrels we have, the difficulties we have. They need to stay alive. Cameroon is the worst country that can ever occupy your own. It is a product of France. It believes it's a central governance structure. It believes in violence as a tool of governance. And so we have faced a lot of difficulties. And it's not like we were not aware. A son of Fako had warned us. And I would like to... Oh, yes. Yeah. My deputy has paid his tax. Your place day. Your place day. A son of... a son of Fako warned us. Where's my PR? Yes. It is still perplexing that a country that had had, I think, 3 governments and stable, a strong economy, could be swallowed by a country that was under the state of anarchy. and Ndele warn us, if you vote for Cameroon Republic, you will forever fail to secure independence for Southern Cameroons, because Cameroon is still a colony of France. And we are keen observers of what is going on in Burkina Faso, what is going on in Niger, Guinea, and Mali, what has been going on in Central African Republic, what has been going on in Gabon, in Congo Brazzaville, the torment and turmoil in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Everything that has been attached to France has been a gigantic mess. But the people who taught us how you fight the French were the Haitians. Burn everything down. Ndele warned us, because he is coming from a land where another legend lived, Kova Lekenye, the Bakore chief who fought the Germans on the slopes of Mount Fako. French troops are still stationed in Douala and Yaoundé, he warned. The CPNC maintains that it is no use for the Southern Cameroons to move from the British colony and become part of the French colony. We must move into true independence with Nigeria. Under the French system, you cannot have a fair trial. We remember Joe Tang. Last week he was sentenced to 25 years in jail. No lawyer, no proper representation, no due process, far away from his own jurisdiction. Anyone accused of an offense in the Cameroon Republic is manhandled and flogged and is generally treated as a guilty criminal. Who amongst you, he asked, would like to live in a country where your life and property are constantly in danger? Who amongst you would like to live in a country where your entire home is burnt, villages are burnt, and there are massacres, Pingin, there is Ngabu, there is Santa? Ndele foresaw it. Who amongst you would like to live in such a land? Who amongst you peaceful citizens of Ambazonia would like to live in a country where you may be shot as you move along the street? Babies are shot in taxis. Somebody who quarrels with the colonial police is shot at point blank range. They walk into a house in Pingin quarters in Bamenda. They met 5 adolescents. They shot them at point blank range, hauled their bodies onto the street. No shame, no sense of fear, because there is no sense of accountability. Who amongst you would like to live in a country where your wife can be killed when they are toiling in the farms? Who amongst you, he asked, would like to live in French Cameroon, a country red in the blood of thousands of innocent victims killed by terrorists and the Aïdjo regime? Ndele foresaw the dangers that await us if we cast our vote in favor of a union with Cameroon. And all what he predicted has come to pass. And that's why people like Mula Njoli Tumbe and others, our CIO and others from the great land of Kova Lekenye, fought hard Fako is important. It's our federal capital. But I have said we will liberate it at the appropriate time. But it's important that we realize what has happened to Fako. Fako has the highest amount of rainfall in West Africa, in Dibonja. That rainfall alone can be captured, and with the fertile volcanic soil that comes from the mountain, transform Fako into an agricultural El Dorado, where our citizens in there will live in affluence, where people will not die because they lack clean drinking water, because just the rainfall in Dibonja alone could serve Fako and even neighboring Meme during the dry season. It could be used for irrigation. It could be used to provide clean drinking water in every household. Nobody cares. In Fako, we have a deep sea port, the Victoria Deep Sea Port. The enemy understands the importance of a seaport in a thriving economy, where you don't need to get sun to increase the debt. It's a natural deep sea port. That could even be a transit port for places, landlocked places within the continent. It could be a transit port for places like even Chad, Rwanda. The Victoria Deep Sea Port alone could provide employment opportunities for hundreds of thousands of Ambazonians, creating wealth that could be reinvested and to create more opportunities. The enemy decided that they were going to abandon the Victoria Deep Sea Port for Douala. Why not? The Deep Sea Port would have offered a huge opportunity for the tens of thousands of Ambazonians who are out here, who ship their goods into Douala and pay exorbitant prices, including bribes. They should have shipped it into Victoria free of charge. That's what we will offer in an independent Ambazonia, because of the role the diasporans have played in ensuring that we are free. Ambazonian expatriates will have the opportunity to ship high quality goods into Ambazonia free of charge, where you remove your goods from the port, you have an immediate market because the economy is vibrant, the infrastructure is developed. You create a secondary pool of opportunities. You don't need to bribe to get your things in, because the moment you ship goods from outside, you also create a temporal employment opportunities for those who are going to take care of your goods. They may be family members, but they have temporary jobs. No economy can survive without a vibrant populace, because they are the immediate buyers of every good and services that that economy produces. That is why we've talked about the foundation of our education, to create assets who can be empowered financially and otherwise, to be the strength of a vibrant economy. And don't forget, the deep sea port will offer opportunities for foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment. It will be an opportunity for other development within that particular area, whether in terms of housing, infrastructures, industries that can benefit from access to a port. We are going to transform Victoria into a place where opportunities are created. And not far from there is Boya, the seat of the Boya University, the Silicon Valley of Ambazonia, where engineers are creating apps. Engineers are creating all sorts of advanced technology, whether in the financial sector, in the agricultural sector, to reduce the burden on the lives of our people. These things are interconnected. When knowledge is produced to create opportunities where people have access to goods and services. As if that was not enough, Fako is the hub where you have the massive CDC, where these rapists, these arsonists, armed robbers have hijacked it and transformed it into a corrupt enterprise where the only opportunity our people have is slave labor. You remember the story? Remember the story, my people? we said it as a joke, where you work at CDC. And I remember I had a family in Muselele. That's where we go get rubber to make football. You work at CDC. Pa Shadrach. He earns, I think, 25,000 amber a month. And they line up, the long line to receive their salary. Before the end of the month, Pa Shadrach has borrowed cooking oil from Namundo, worth about 3,000. He's borrowed dry fish from Mamibi. He's borrowed school fees from Pai Pasamoto. By the end of the month, he has used his 25,000 and he's already in debt. And he stands on the line and they are screaming his name. Pa Shadrach! You owe Mama Namundo this amount. By the time they count the amount of money he has borrowed, he already leaves the line. Because it's already at 27,000. And he leaves from there, he goes and meets his friend to borrow another 3,000. He goes into a bar, he drinks 1,000, goes home. The wife is waiting for him. He has nothing. The children are waiting for him. He has nothing. The armed robbers, for whom he has toiled for 1 month, have accumulated hundreds of thousands, send their children to good schools, go on vacation, relieve stress, take care of their families, live a better life, while the owners of the land returns home already in debt for the next month. And that's when confusion starts at home. That becomes irresponsible. Family breakups because of financial difficulties. Children become delinquent. If you have to analyze the burden, if you analyze the consequences of this occupation on the individual Ambazonian, family cohesion, its impact on society, and its impact in the next 20 years, you will weep for our country. You will weep for our country. You will not be sitting out here and screaming, oh, Ayaba here, Ayaba there. No. You would join me in the trenches for us to end this occupation of our homeland. Mount Fako is the highest mountain in the west of Africa. Only the tourism industry, forget about the long Atlantic coast that will be used by researchers building, vacation places. Some of you are people taking vacation. Look at some of the islands in Spain, in Morocco. They make billions through tourism. And that's why I've always told you, you don't need to even think about what is beneath the soil. Think about the opportunities that we can create for our people and for our country, simply by exploiting what is above the soil and using our experience, being open to other societies to replicate. You see Ambazonians flying to Dubai. The desert, people have transformed a desert into an oasis. While we have an oasis, we are trying to transform it into a desert. Ambazonians out here, they have bought land in Victoria. They have built homes there that they may never live inside, because they are nomads. An Ambazonian sits out here, is hitting the chest. I have a house in the beaches around Victoria. What do you make out of that? You cannot stay in there because the economy has collapsed. The health infrastructure has collapsed. You can't drive on a simple road. Armed robbers want to live on your own toil. Kidnappers for ransom call police and gendarme officers, want to make a mockery of because you've lived out here. Ndele warned us, the son of Fako, that we would be doomed if we coexist with Cameroon. And I am warning you today. I know sometimes you may not listen to me, but if Ndele's warning is anything to go by, your son will walk on your grave one day and ask, Dad, what did you do? That I heard about a man called Dr. Cho Ayaba. Warning. Watch it on YouTube. What did you do to make sure that you bequeath to us a better place? I wish my dad did not go to Second World War to fight for white Europeans. I wish he stood up and fought for Amazonia. So I wouldn't spend every day 10 hours straight on the Amba struggle. You may think we are stupid. You may think, we are terrorists. Give us all names, worse names than the enemy has ever given us. You may go to your cultural association, you tie your sanjab. You put everything, you dancing in London, celebrating a culture that if you don't secure the land where that culture can perpetuate, it will be history. Not history even read in chapters, it will be in the footnotes of history. Footnotes of history. Because the enemy will make sure the history books are tailored according to the victors. Remember the story of the hunt? Have you ever imagined if the story of the hunt was told or written by the antelope? The lion succeeds possibly 25% of the time, but the story of the hunt always favors the lion. The antelope succeeds most of the time. Nobody writes their own story. That will be the fate of Ambazonia. But we are here to make sure it doesn't happen. I want to promise the people of Fako that you will have your dignity restored. You know, the Bakwere person is likened to the Mankon person. I'm from Mankon. They call us in Bamenda that we are Bakwerians. Yeah, because of our hospitality. They say we sold all Mankon land. So that's how they pay back our hospitality. And that's how we've treated the Bakwerians for their hospitality. Late Parker even gave us a name in the Ayaba's family. He gave us a name. So we have a son who bears a Bakwere name. We will restore your dignity and the ownership of your land. I know sometimes some of those enablers and bandits who are parading themselves to speak for Bakwerians, no, they don't speak for you. They are beneficiaries of your servitude, and they use your tragedies to make riches for themselves and their children. Where is Musonge? I've done more for the land of Bakwere than Musonge. Fought in the university to make sure that it is a place where the sons and daughters of Bakwere land can go into the university. I sacrificed for it, lost my own education. I have the scars to prove it. I fought on the streets of Victoria in Cassava Farm, Lonesome Quarter, New Town. Battles for democracy so that you could speak, so you could have ownership of your land. It's an entitlement. Factors of production: land, labor, and capital. Land we don't have, capital we don't have. We're all laborers. Low pay. The story of Pa Shadrach. The story of Ambazonia will be different. We will link Victoria with a flyover. In Tico, you land at Tico International Airport. And you pick up a cab. 25 minutes, you are in Victoria. You're watching it down. Beaming with smile. You have come home, where peace resides, where you are respected, where you are acclaimed. I will name that airport Molanjo Litumbe International Airport, in honor of a son who fought so hard. I hear they've given the airport to a bandit. What's the name of that bandit? What's the name of that bandit? They say, hi, Ambazonia has suffered. La République wants to reconstruct. La République wants to reconstruct Ambazonia. They've been doing reconstruction since we were born. We are so far. They take us for fools. Because they pass us through their system of intoxication. So they are very much sure that the product are fools. They do reconstruction. They want to beat Tico Airport. They gave it to an armed robber. PR, what's his name again? Wilson Da Costa. He won the contract to build Tico Airport. Remember the last time you heard they wanted to build that airport? They are still on Ring Road. Cameroon wants to reconstruct Ambazonia. Oh! Cho Ayaba. Jesus! Paul Biya wants to reconstruct Ambazonia. have suffered. They take us for fools. Why not? When every Sunday, and you're driving on the boulevard, you know, you will leave the Molanjoli to the international airport, and you're being proud, you know, you're being proud of your country, and you're proud of the sacrifices that we've made, and you should be able to go down or go up to Mutengene, go to Tiko. The Tiko Waft would also be functional, create opportunities for people in Tiko. Those in Muselele, you are not simply going to become Shadrach where you toil in the rubber plantation, you don't have anything. You will be a shareholder of the plantation. We want to make sure that Ambazonians are shareholder of what happens in their own land. There's an oil refinery in Fako. You know, there's an oil refinery in Fako. When I was enrolled in the University of Boya, my is it again subsidiary was CPT, Chemical Process Technology. How you can separate, you know, crude into the different, you know, forms of fuel. And the residue that you can use in tarring roads, in creating rubber for your tires. So what happens down there in Victoria will shape the curriculum of education in Boya. The economic opportunities of Fako will be factored into the design of the curriculum of education, so that kids are taught, you know, the skills that they will need immediately to fill the vacancies that exist because of the opportunities. So we have everything we need. That's a mountain. But let's keep climbing. We are still on Hot 3. We'll reach the summit. I call on each person to pay their tax. And we will support all forces. We just, as I said to you the other day, we recall the receipt that we're sending to Bui. We took it back because we came to an agreement that it should be one receipt, since the ADF and the ARF had formed the Unity Warriors. So the receipt will be the Unity Warriors of the ADF and ARF, and they will split it. You put it in your own sector. I said this liberation tax is not only about the revenue, though the revenue is important, but it's also to establish a system of accountability. There's a lot of corruption in our struggle. Nationalist struggle, you know, does not have corruption. Nationalists rise up because a system has been put in place that is nepotic in nature, corrupt in nature. And the desire for their struggle is to dismantle those systems and establish fair, equitable, transparent systems. We want to end harassment of our population completely. Today we picked up, I think, 9 Biafrans. And I was on a video call, and I got their names, and I made a bit of research. I established their identity, and I know that they are resident in Amazonia, and I told our forces they should pay their liberation tax because they are resident, and they should let them go. That's all. And we notified Biafra. I've asked the press secretary to notify the Biafrans that this is what happened, and that the liberation tax will affect their resident citizens in our country. My fellow Ambazonians, I know you believe in your country. I know you face difficulties. I know you are worried, especially the people of Fako. Difference is not bad. Difference becomes a problem when it is instrumentalized by opportunists. We are always going to be different. I am different from my vice president. He has his own way. I'm different from my spokesman. I'm different from the Secretary for Finance. And we recognize the difference as important. The worst thing to ever happen is when opportunists, those who cannot win by merit, decide to instrumentalize difference for their own interests. That is what has happened when you start hearing somebody in Meme, that rascal was died, saying, you know, the people of the Southwest cannot be. Who tells you that the person from Manyu, you know, wants to be with the person from Meme? Who tells you that the man from Mezam likes, you know, the person from Momo? These differences exist. We are not, you know, some homogeneous lot. We are a heterogeneous, diversified set of persons who have accepted based on residing within the same geographic region, having established systems that cut across, you know, our own villages, who understand each other, who've accepted to establish political institutions and economic institutions over that nation to oversee our own existence as individuals and collectives. As the concept of a nation state. And do not listen to any instrumentalist, opportunist, who eat the vomit from their slave master to lecture you about Ambazonia. Cameroon is giving Fako nothing. Nothing. It has humiliated Fako. It has humiliated everyone there. Ambazonia is coming to restore the dignity of the denizens from Fako and to create an economic system that ensures that every person has a shot in life, and to establish representative political system where power belongs to the people, where you in Fako, you are able to elect your representatives within your own state parliament, design and enact laws that respond to the particularities of your own state. And that shared system within the federal system of government for Ambazonia. And if anybody ever twisted the reason why we fight for these opportunities. Independence is the container within which these opportunities can exist. I am very, very happy to have been born within this period. I am very, very grateful to have been part of a generation of daredevils who with their bare hands and their own rudimentary skills have challenged one of the last bastions of anti-people, anti-Ambazonia colonialism. With our difficulties, we will make it. If we believe that what we are escaping from has provided nothing to us, Molanjo Litumbe will be proud that we made this journey. Kuva Lekinye will be proud of his descendants. And I know that deep somewhere in you, you cherish this idea. Somewhere in you, there is that instinct that tells you Ambazonia is a reality. You may be confused about how that journey would be. But I am here as a roadmap, using the roadmap others have used to navigate the difficult trajectory of a liberation struggle. Together as a people, we will make it. And our people of Fako will be proud. But before I go, let me send a message to Victoria. Respect ghost towns. Ghost towns are important days of resistance for us. All right. Good night to everyone. God bless the people of Fako. God bless Ambazonia.
Hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonians, special loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. And legends to the hero who brought along the gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing rivers and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.
Welcome to ACN.
Vous savez, à un moment, c'est assez. À un moment, c'est fatigant. À un moment, ça ne sert même plus à rien de se débattre ou de se battre pour quoi que ce soit. Je viens d'appeler un oncle que je considérais, quelqu'un que j'ai toujours considéré dans ma vie, dans le sens où il a toujours été correct envers moi. Certes, je ne crois pas que c'était la famille ou qui m'aimait trop, mais il a toujours été correct envers moi. Je viens d'appeler le directeur de cabinet au téléphone. Et vous savez c'est quoi la dernière chose qu'il m'a dit? Tu vas overdoser et tu vas mourir. Donc moi, je suis ici dans ma chambre et je suis ici en Suisse en train de me demander 40 000 choses. Je suis en train de me demander qui est derrière ça, qui essaie de me tuer, pourquoi on veut absolument que je meure d'une overdose, pourquoi on me refuse tout, pourquoi à chaque fois que je demande, je dis je suis suicidaire, je ne suis pas bien ici, je ne veux pas être ici, pourquoi on ne m'écoute pas. La chose la plus difficile, ce n'est pas de se rendre compte que tout le monde veut ta mort, c'est de se rendre compte qu'il n'y a même plus de famille, il n'y a plus d'amis, il n'y a rien de tout ça. Littéralement, tout mon entourage veut ma mort et veut que je meure d'une overdose. J'ai entendu le directeur de cabinet dire audiblement au téléphone, tu vas overdoser et tu vas mourir. Et ça, c'est parce que j'ai été sacrifié par ces gens. Donc tous les jours, ils m'ont sacrifié. Ils veulent que je meure, ils me mettent dans la souffrance. Et moi, je suis censé fermer ma gueule. Non. Voilà moi ce que je vais dire. Je ne sais pas qui ça va intéresser. Au bout d'un moment, je n'ai plus rien à foutre. Moi, je coupe les ponts avec tout ça. Je suis désolée, si vous voulez me juger, il n'y a pas de problème. Je coupe les ponts avec mes parents. Parce qu'ils m'ont toute ma vie, ils m'ont fait du mal. Et maintenant, je me rends compte qu'ils veulent me tuer. Je coupe les ponts avec mes parents. Dorénavant, je ne suis plus de la famille. L'argent que vous utilisiez pour me contrôler, je ne prendrai plus un seul sou. Maman, papa, venant de vous. Vous n'avez aucune idée de tout le mal qu'ils m'ont fait. Tout le mal que ces gens m'ont fait et continuent à me faire. Donc pour la campagne, vous voulez vraiment savoir qui je vais voter. Je ne voterai pas Paul Biya. Et si j'ai un jour fait du mal ou été une mauvaise personne envers les Camerounais ou envers qui que ce soit, j'en suis désolée. Et je suis vraiment désolée que c'est ma chair, mon sang, ou la personne qui est censée mon père, qui fait souffrir toute une nation depuis des années. Malheureusement, il fait aussi souffrir les membres de sa famille. Malheureusement, moi aujourd'hui, je n'ai plus de famille. Vous voulez tant que je meure, vous voulez tant que j'overdose. Ne m'appelez plus, et je ne prendrai plus un soin de vous. Pas un centime. Et dès que je peux, je prends mes clics et mes claques et je déménage. Et je ne posterai plus sur les réseaux parce que je dois me reconstruire. En gros, les gens, c'est mes parents qui veulent que je meure d'une overdose. C'est mes parents qui veulent ma mort. Ne votez pas Paul Biya, pas par rapport à moi, mais parce que il a fait souffrir assez de gens. C'est tout. J'espère vraiment qu'il y aura un autre président et je ne retirerai pas cette vidéo.
Hey! Stop, stop. Okay. Okay! Hey! 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 Okay! Go! Hey! 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 Stop! Hey! Hey! Go! Hey! Go! Hey! Move! Hey! Okay! Hey! Go!
Alamak dia mah. Yeah.
Oi, oi, oi!
Kau di jam motor. Mau.
Oi!
Nó không có đâu nào mà.
Oi!
Kau di jam motor. Mam. Ekinos TV. Asa. For front there. Your drug for front there.
No, go put whisper na bari.
Dia cakap ni. Saya biam ni macam mana yo mana sini. Haba. Hilo go firang sunga na asung motor.
Nyaw mandat ya, nyaw mandat. Nyaw mandat. Number. Wait, take number. Nyaw mandat.
No hay eso. $500 for Baba for cross. No carry with us.
Ouais, sauf pas. Pauvre Konotiti. People are suffering. Konotiti wrote. People are suffering. The population are suffering. Look at Mabunji. Look at. There is no way even to move. Come on. People are suffering. So, Pa, what do you want to tell the government now? Eh, Daddy? The road is bad. Even the Okada cannot move. Kumbakono Titi Road. Look at the road. There is no way. This is the road. Cameroon government help also.